Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and I'm Crafty Paper Bits. Today I have a flip through of this custom order that I just completed. This is a huge book as you can see. Actually I think this is like the biggest spine I've ever ever did for a journal. And so, as I said, it is a custom order, and the person who requested that book wanted to have a religion themed book, and a book that would have ephemera related to the life of Jesus Christ and also Mother Mary. So I tried my best to kind of put things in in the order that the Bible tells unfold the stories. It's not easy because I'm not an expert in the religion history, but I tried my best, and I also I did buy some books about it to kind of know more about it, and yeah, kind of create something that would be a little bit chronologically correct, something like that. So I hope it makes sense, and I hope that the person who gets this will be pleased with the end result and how the stories unfold throughout. So the customer and I decided on using this book cover. This is an original book cover, as you can see. I didn't cover it or anything. I like the fact that it says Jesus, obviously, and it has a nice texture to it, like some textile texture on the cover already. And I just reinforced, like when I created the spine, I did reinforce it with some how do you call that? Yeah, I don't remember the name of this. And I just added a little bit of interest with this red velvet, and I pinned this charm, which is actually a religious charm. So it's very pretty, and the person can remove that if he doesn't like it. And the back is very simple. As I said, I just left the original cover. So this thing, I didn't measure it, but it is quite big, and it is full, like it's filled with ephemera and full. So the idea was to create something a bit similar to the Christmas coffee table book that I recently did. The person actually wanted something similar, but he also wanted the journal to be able to stand up and be placed on a shelf. So yeah. Now this book will come with a few goodies, and I'm not going to show the whole thing. I want to keep a surprise, but you get an idea here. And I'm actually going to remove these things. And this olive tree branch comes from the garden of my parents in southern France. And so it also has a religious connotation. I believe I will make two parts for the flip through, as I did for the Christmas book, because it is so big. And just start, and inside there's this beautiful lining with this paper, which are mosaics, and I did show this part as well of the book cover to the future owner, and he really liked it, so I just wanted to keep it as is. And I don't know if you see, but I found a textile in my textile pile that really looks like has the same color tones than the cover, and so I thought it was nice to add it in here and to reinforce the spine. Now, okay, it's gonna be so long. So if you're interested in watching, I highly recommend you take something to drink or maybe craft along. So first page is this. Just gonna remove everything. This is part of an old French book, and I thought it would be interesting for the owner to create his table of content. So like if he wants to put the highlights of the stories, you know, how it's told in the Bible, he could put the title here, or he could also write some notes, or you know, anything. But I thought it was interesting to add this piece and put this sommaire table of content as a first page. And so the way I did the chronology in the book is the way I wrote it. I typewritten it on this piece of paper. So the titles are in French, but I believe that he will understand because they are pretty much the same words, and it's just L'Enfance de Jésus, which is like Jesus' childhood. He could also, I mean, if he has a question, he can of course ask me. But there's like, I'm not going to try to explain everything or tell a story because I'm not, I'm not an expert, and I would not want to say something wrong. But yeah, I did put some titles, and he can remove this paper or copy this paper on here with his handwriting. But there's like the Annunciation, like and Visitation, Nativity, Jesus' childhood, public life, the Passion, and the Resurrection. So these are my titles through the book. So here actually we have a little belly band made out of some negative photo. This is a book page. I have an illustration from a book of Rose by Redouté. I also bought a digital on Etsy that has some verses, I believe. This is the right word. And so I printed everything, and these are printed in different types of paper. So this one has a texture. It's orange and has a very nice texture to it. So the person can decide to, you know, tear these apart and then just create ephemera or glue them down somewhere in the journal, or just leave them as they are here. On this page we have, this is a beautiful antique French letter page. So here I made a little pocket. Here it says the church scene, and it is obviously a music sheet. There's a pocket here, and here's a tuck spot where I put this beautiful illustration of Mother Mary and Jesus. Inside I put some missals, like religious prayer books, pages of some that were already, you know, torn and falling apart. And so there's this marble paper and those beautiful illustrated pages. I did put this little, I had a charm. This is a vintage charm, and I just I just, you know, glue it down and put this thing. And this is a little envelope, so this is a handmade tag. There's some stamping and some staining. And so this is clipped here, and we have a postcard of Mary on the back. Next, we have other pieces clipped, and so the idea was that the owner would be able to, you know, take things out like a little, like a big supply book, I mean, and a little bit like the Christmas themed book that I made, actually. So lots of ephemera that are removable and that he can play around with. So it's just a book page here, and we have the cross with Jesus on it, and also these are nice engravings. So there's that. I did put this this is a sunflower that I tried to dry, and it looks a bit weird, but I do like this kind of weird looking shape and this big heart. I don't know, it just reminds me of a sun, and I thought it was kind of special. So I hope you will enjoy that. And if he doesn't, of course, he could still cut this piece and use that one, which is an ephemera from 1942. We have some beautiful handmade paper. And so just a note about the general color scheme of this journal. Initially I had no idea what color scheme I would go for this religious book, and then as I said, I bought a few books about religious history, religion history, I mean, and art. And then I realized that inside those books, they were already some colors that were very similar. And these are mostly oranges and, you know, reds, and very much like, you know, I think you know what I mean, like this one as well. More earthy tones, but also very deep touches of reds and oranges and blues, and so I just thought I will go for the color scheme that is in the book, so it stays cohesive throughout. So that's what I did. That's why I picked some of the ephemera and handmade paper. This is an antique holy card. This is a French vintage, probably from the 20s or 30s, coffee bag. And inside I just tucked a few postcards. I used this beautiful pattern paper. Well, this is a tea-stained pattern, and I clipped these illustrations, which are coming from different books, and which also fit the chapter theme, if you will. And yeah, you actually have the title right here. And this, I did add some gold leaf and some journaling space on the back. Again, some illustrations related to the theme. This is an antique lace card, lace holy card. These are from the mid 19th century, so it's very old, and these are called canivets in French. And we also have this beautiful postcard. I believe this one is antique as well. Yeah, it's 1912. And then we have book page of Les Grands Magasins du Louvre calendar book. So some of these ephemera are very fragile and very old. So lots of pictures and illustrations of Mother Mary in this chapter. And so here we have a beautiful postcard with golden details. And this is a book page, like a magazine page, I mean. And I just added some like illustration that I made into ephemera and journaling cards. So I know the person doesn't really like to write, but if he wants to add verses or, you know, prayers, and he could totally use these. So beautiful. I love religious ephemera. I think they're so beautiful. This is a prayer card. This one was a small, I love the patina of this paper, but this was tucked into prayer book, so I just added it here. And I also added on some of the pages some of these, you know, these things, kind of, it's not needles, but, you know, the pointy things, so you just have to be careful. And I clipped some pieces of ephemera. Then we have, this is a photo postcard, a real photo postcard. And here we have a pocket, and I tucked a few French ephemera, and, you know, some things he can play around with. So a lot of floating pieces as well. So this one, this is actually the middle of the first signature, and I just tucked this page in here, and it has this cross charm. It's wood, and this is a belly band. Here it actually says notes, so he could add some notes on the back. This is a postcard, and then here we have, what is on the back? Oh my god, there's so many ephemera in this book. But yeah, there are some journaling space if you open that up, some prayer book lining paper. I was falling apart, and it's such a pretty pattern, and some holy card. And I'm not gonna remove that, but you can see it's a magazine page, and this goes right here. And this is a belly band that I did. Another pack of religious ephemera clipped onto this page. Again, not taking everything out. I think it's nice if there's still an element of surprise, because there's so many things. But here I did, following a tutorial from Heather at Ruby and Pearl, I did this pocket with book pages, and I tucked various ephemera, and yeah, on both sides actually. A handmade tag with some beautiful holy cards and dried flowers. This is some ephemera that comes from one of Cassie's kits. These are some of the verses that I printed on some special paper, and I just you know, glue this down, stitch it around, staple this picture, this photograph of inside of a church, some ephemera, old, well, antique actually, negative photo, and I stamped that little envelope. And here are some tiny flower book pages to play around with. And so here we have the second chapter of the first part, if you will. So it's the Visitation, and so we have like Mary and Elizabeth, and so we have the picture illustrating this this part of the story, and still plenty of ephemera. This one is a place where I actually went not too long ago. These are the Hospice of Bonn, and we have an antique prayer card and a vintage one, and this goes right here. I did use some beautiful pages throughout the journal, and this one is an antique ledger page, some vintage ephemera, still there's a little bit of space to write things down, and we have a beautiful illustration here. I believe you can write on the back, yeah. And then if we take the clip out, we have some beautiful illustration taken from a very old magazine. So that goes in here, and there's an antique prayer card. Inside that little pocket that I made, and you can see it's an illustration here, I did add this beautiful postcard and this prayer card. And this one is Italian, I believe. This is another ephemera from one of Cassie's kit, and I just added this little charm here. And this is a ivy leaf that I pressed. And on this side we have a little collage here, a French, is it? Yeah, French letter dated from 1946, and this handwriting is gorgeous. And some Christian religious ephemera, and very old embossed and gold prayer card from 1933. The last page of the first signature, this book page with a tuck spot. We have a feather here that I did take this one. I did have found this one a few days ago, and here are some verses, and this paper has some shine to it, so it's quite nice. And again, he can cut these apart and collage with them. And inside here, this is some handmade paper to which I stitched doily, paper doily, and I placed this beautiful holy card. It's very old, and it has this little piece of linen here. So what I'm gonna do is go through another one, and then stop the video and have another have a part 2 for this flip. And yeah, I hope I'm not gonna bore you too much. But this is about nativity and Jesus Christ childhood. So this is number 2, and I'm saying chapter, but actually it's like, let's say signature and then chapters inside. So this is the second signature, and inside we have 2 chapters, I believe. Let's check that. We just had in number 1 these 2, and then we have these 2 now. So hope it makes sense. But on this one we have some vintage trim. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the person didn't really want textile in his journal, so that was a challenge, because I love adding textural elements in my journals. But it was nice. I like how, well, I love how it turned out, so I hope you will too. But I did add a few touches here and there, but not too much. So here we have the title that I just stitched around. We have some stamps. And so this is the birth of Jesus. This is a printable from Ruby and Pearl XO. And this is the birth certificate. So I thought it was appropriate for this signatures themes. And Joseph with baby Jesus. Okay, on to the next page. It goes like this. Illustration about Jesus Christ's birth. So there's that. And then I made an altered envelope with some verse, and this is the name of the painting. And inside, I'm not going to take everything out, but there are a few more ephemera inside. Illustrations and related, like Christmas related things. And here is just a flip onto this beautiful book page, and I did some collage up there with a little bit of velvet, and just tucked these 2 postcards. This is the other side, and here's a floating piece. This is a clip that I recently purchased. I thought it was very pretty, and so beautiful illustration. And this is a floating page, as I said, and this was actually a cover of a magazine, and I did some collages here and there. And so on the back we have collages and a bunch of ephemera. And I don't know if you followed my work for a little while or not, but I do love to reuse things. I love recycling, and somehow the things that I acquire like all the time. Like for example, I had this, it was my birthday in November, and I got a book about Christian Andersen. He is a famous storyteller from Denmark, and I am half Danish. That's also why I got this book, and it meant something for me. And it was wrapped in this beautiful wrapping paper with, iconic things of Denmark, and the little label from the museum that it came from. Anyways, just to say, I love the reds and the illustrations. It does look a little bit like Christmas, so I just backed it with some prayer. And yeah, thought it was kind of nice, a nice touch. Moving on to this page, we have this gorgeous postcard, and then there's this vintage label, wine label. I do have more in my Instagram shop if you're interested. Here I just added this plate to which I stitched some vintage eyelet trim and a laundry trim. And this is the American chapel. I don't remember where it is, but I believe it is in Switzerland somewhere. But I'm not sure. Some antique music sheet. Just a little bit of ribbon to add some interest, but again, not too much. Ephemera. Here's a postcard that you can unfold like two times, and I glued the back here so it's stuck on the page, and I just collaged the words and the little things here. There's a French ephemera here, a beautiful ledger page. This is a magazine page, a very beautiful and antique photograph, and actually you can put it up and when you remove that page from like that magazine page, you can see let me remove that. I did create a little pocket here with some collages. This is some rosemary. Yeah, rosemary from my garden, sorry. And inside, again, plenty of ephemera, and I'm just going to show you this gorgeous holy card. This is one of my favorite. It's so pretty. But we have prayer book pages of some that were falling apart. That is perfect for collaging. We have some verses here in the back, printed on transparent paper. And this is a removable piece. This was originally a plate of a church, and I just added a postcard, some religious storybook page, and on the back, what do we have? We have more ephemera, and this is supposed to represent Jesus' childhood. So you can see him here with Joseph and Mary. We have some labels and some of these library cards with the verses on. Oh, and actually there's also the back. I did add a pocket with some ephemera inside, and I clipped a piece of heavy textile, upholstery textile. Here we have a little flip up, and this is a pocket with some ephemera again, a mini calendar, prayer cards, morning cards, and on the back, I don't know, no, you cannot see it, a letter and other pieces of ephemera. And tucked underneath we have this little photograph holder, like photo negative holder. This is part of Les Grands Magasins du Louvre calendar page that I just glue onto this book page. And on this side we have a little panel of ephemera that I glued. This is a little flower that I found in a prayer book, and this is a mini prayer card, and there's another piece of ephemera here. I did put some of these flowers that I dried from my garden. This is something I really enjoyed making. First, we have this beautiful handmade... Oh, I didn't make this myself. It's another thing I was talking about. But this is a beautiful handmade paper. And I actually attached this pin. I have a collection of old pins. And here you have the three... oh, gosh, I should have checked that word. Les rois mages, I don't know how you call them in English, but I thought it was kind of fun to add this. And this is a pin for, like, it's an advertisement pin, vintage, for a French retail store. But I thought it was kind of fun to add this to the page. And here inside this pocket, and you can see this is baby Jesus, we have a little, well, we have this illustration there, and there, this illustration show them giving the different gifts to Jesus. And these gifts, I decided to put them onto this little piece of handmade paper, and this kind of, it looks like a little mood board, I would say, and this is really inspired by Marie at J'adore le papier. She has made some of these mood boards where she, you know, she just used different materials to create, yeah, a mood board, I guess it is. But here it is supposed to be the three gifts. So we have gold, incense, and mirror. Mirror? I don't know how you call that, but it's more or less, it shows, I mean, it's more or less the shape, but it was just a little thing that I thought went well with the theme and was kind of nice to create. Some Christmas postcard, postcard, I mean. And this is a belly band that I made with this golden doily, but I'm not going to open this little pouch that I put inside. It's a surprise pouch. Again, a few more Christmas ephemera, but not too much. We have this Wallpaper Pocket. This is vintage wallpaper. It's very pretty, and I do have more in my shop if you're interested. I have some beautiful vintage postcards. And this one I stapled a little document and a little receipt, I mean. But I love the colors of these flowers. Again, the pictures are supposed to fit well the chapters. Here we have a few things that are just washi taped, and then I tucked some ephemera. So we have a J for Jesus, and a postcard of a church, and some prayer card and coming card. Beautiful page, book page, and other verses to cut out. Here I did pin this document, which is from actually from a religious school, and this is a very pretty Christmas ephemera. Here it says Noël, Christmas, and there is a little note on the side, on the back. I thought it was so pretty. It's very fragile. And then when you there's actually some nice handwriting on the back of this document. But here's a pocket made out of handmade paper with some dried flowers inside. There's some cherubs here and two boys. This is a real photo postcard from 1925. This is actually a tuck spot, and inside there's this gorgeous illustration. I love this one, it's so beautiful. And we have a little booklet that I made out of other illustration that were in the book, like small black and white illustration. And this is when they are moving, like fleeing, I don't remember the word, but to Egypt. And so there's this piece of ephemera, this religious piece, and this is the last page of the second signature, and then we'll make a break. But here is, well, you have some ephemera here. I did add a beautiful check, postcards, and a prayer card here. And so, yeah, these are the two first signatures, which includes 4 chapters of this story. Now there are 2 more, and I will make another video because it's getting too long, and yeah. So I will see you for the part 2. Thank you for watching.